Welcome everyone to Doga Yoga. Today we're doing a beautiful, fun Vinyasa flow focused on our Surya Namaskar or Sun Salutation B. So we're going to start in standing today. Come to the top of our mat. I'm just going to face you this way for this stretch. We're going to take a big arm circle up overhead to welcome ourselves onto the mat today. Fingertips touch. Back to heart center. 2 more of those just to kind of bring in the energy. Let go of the mind chatter. Big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch. And back to heart center. 1 more, inhale. And exhale. When we're ready, we're going to take a big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch, and we're going to grab our right wrist with our left hand. We're going to bend our left knee, just place our right foot behind us and just lean, gentle side body stretch, and gaze goes up slightly. Just open up the rib cage, open up the thoracic here, and just sink a little deeper with each passing breath. When you're ready, come back to center, find length. I'm going to go to the other side, grab the left wrist with the right hand. Bend that right knee, left foot goes behind us. Send the hips towards the left, hands towards the right, gaze goes up. And breathe. Notice the differences side to side here as we flow with our breath. And come on up. Feet ground, hands go high, and we're going to sink straight back into our chair. So hands go forward, hips go back, and hold for 3, 2, 1, fold forward, crown of the head goes towards the earth, tailbone to the sky. Inhale, come on up, halfway lift, fingers to the tops of the knees or the toes. And exhale, lower. Bend the knees, plant the hands. We're going to step back into a plank today or half plank. Find your variation. Lower down, chaturanga. And tuck the toes, press into the hips and hands, come up into cobra. And lower down, tap the forehead to the earth. Send the hips towards the heels, tuck the toes, and come on up into our first downward facing dog. Find length in the chest and soften and release a little. You might like to walk the dog. Take some movements. You might take a different movement today, swaying the feet onto one side. Gaze goes under the left armpit. Coming up to the toes, coming onto the outside edges of the left foot. Gaze towards the other armpit. Just a different opening in the side body and the hip. Moving in a way that feels good and natural for you. We'll come back into our downward facing dog, press weight into our left foot and lift our right toes off the ground just a millimeter. I'll kick that heel into the sky, keeping the hips square. When we're ready, we're going to bring that knee to nose, round out and get that foot in between our hands. We'll come down onto the knee for the first one, rise up into a low lunge, reach the hands high. Send them wide, frame that front foot and go. Ooh, legs come off. Hit it. Frame that front foot and go through our flow. Plank, chaturanga, and tuck the toes. You might come up into upward facing dog instead of cobra. And then send the hips up and away, tuck the toes into downward facing dog. Length and soften. Length and soften. Press weight into that right foot, lift that left heel to the sky, kick it high, keep the hips square, keep the toes flexed towards the face. And then we're going to bend that knee, bring it through towards the nose, round out and get that foot in between our hand. That back knee comes down as we rise up into our low lunge. Find length, sink and hold. Let the hands fall beside the body. Frame the front foot and go through your flow. Plank, chaturanga, cobra or upward facing dog. Tuck the toes and send the hips up into your downward facing dog. 2 breaths, length and soften. Length and soften. When you're ready, bend your knees, look towards your hands, pull back. Now you can take lots of little steps, hop or jump up into your forward fold. Inhale, come up into halfway lift, your version. You might even have a block to help bring the ground closer to you. And fold forward. Bend the knees generously, sweep the hands forward, hips back, come back into our chair and hold for 3, 2, 1. Before we rise on up, palms touch, little back bend, and back to heart center. Find length in the spine, grow taller as we ground down and soften. Grow tall and ground down. And our next inhale, we're going to sweep the hands forward, hips back, chair. Hold for 5 this time. 4, smile, 3, 2, 1, and fold forward. Inhale, come on up, halfway lift, and fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step, or jump back to plank. Lower down to chaturanga. And tuck the toes, you can come up into cobra or upward facing dog, and lower down. Make your way into your downward facing dog in a way that suits you. 2 breaths, length, and soften, length, and soften. Press weight into the left foot, right heel goes high. Kick that heel to the left buttock, bend that knee, open up the hips here. Keep the shoulders square, the neck is long, and just feel that beautiful opening in the side body. When you're ready, straighten that leg, square the hips off, bring that knee to nose, round out and get that foot in between the hand. Now, option to have the knee down like we did before, or we can come up into high lunge this time. Reach here, sink the hips, hold. Send the hands wide, frame that front foot, and go through our flow. Plank, chaturanga, cobra or upward facing dog. And make your way in your own way, in your own time, into your downward facing dog. When ready, left heel high. Kick it to the right glute. Open up that hip. Shoulders square. When you're ready, straighten the leg. Square off the hips, knee to nose. Get that foot in between the hand. Rise on up, low or high lunge, reach. Bend the knees, sink a little deeper, push that back heel away. Hands go wide, frame the front foot, and go through your flow. Make your way back into downward facing dog. 2 breaths, length, and soften. Length, and soften. Bend the knees, look towards the hands, pull back, step walk, or jump up into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and fold. Bend the knees, roll on up. Big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch, and back to heart center. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. When you're ready, send the hands forward and high, hips back, and we're gonna hold here for 10, guys. We can do this. Find length and sink. Length and sink. See if you can put weight into your heels, lift your toes up a little bit, hips down a little bit more, bounce a little if you want a little bit of extra spice. Smile and hold for 3, 2, 1, and fold forward. Great work. Inhale, come on up, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. We're going to bend the knees, plant the hands, step or jump back to plank, lower down, chaturanga, go through your flow. When you're ready, right leg goes up to the sky, bring the knee to nose and get it through. Now step that back foot so it frames that back, the short edge of the mat. We're going to spiral our left hand forward and up, coming into our warrior 2. Hold here. Length and sink a little deeper. Length and sink a little deeper. Flip the front palm, come into your reverse warrior, shoulder blades down the back. Breathe. When you're ready, come on up, straighten that front leg, reach our right hand forward, come straight into your Trikonasana. That left hand reaches towards the sky, gaze goes towards the sky, shoulder and torso revolving towards the roof. When you're ready, this top hand spirals down. Bend this front knee, we're going to frame it. And we're going to either go through our flow or come back into your downward facing dog and skip it. Plank, chaturanga, cobra, or upward facing dog. Make your own way in your own time into your downward facing dog, my friends. Words today, it's one of those ones. All right, plant weight into our right foot. Left heel goes high to the sky. Knee to nose, foot in between our hand. Now we're going to put this back foot down, heel to arch alignment. Send this right hand forward, spiral it up into our warrior two. So bend that front knee, make sure we can see our front big toe, and breathe. Gaze towards our front fingertips. Sink a little deeper. Flip that front palm and come into our reverse warrior. Now our shoulders are soft, our gaze is soft, but our legs are strong. Straighten that front leg, reach straight on over with that left hand, bring it down, reach that right hand up, Trikonasana. Gaze towards the roof. Spiral this top hand down. Frame this front foot. Now we're all going to step up to the top of the mat. So we're going to bounce off these back toes, come into a fold forward, really nice. Inhale, halfway lift, your version. And then fold. Bend the knees, hands forward, hips back, chair. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and come on up. Fingers touch, little back bend, hands back to heart center. We're going to come into our balancing pose, our tree. So we're going to plant weight into our left foot, bring our right toes up. There we go. Knee can be out. Now we can just stay here. You might have a wall handy to just kind of put your hand on to help you balance. If you want to go on, place that foot on your calf. Balancing on carpet, rug, and yoga mat. So it's going to be a little squishy and a little wobbly today. Or you can bring that foot to the thigh. Hands to heart center. Find a drishti, a focus point in front of you that isn't moving. It'll help the wobbles, I promise. Send the branches high. And hands wide, we're going to place the hands on the hips. We're going to try and not get this right foot to touch the ground. So release it, then kick it behind you. See if you can grab it, the right foot with the right hand, and squeeze the knees together. Imagine we're holding a kind of piece of paper in between our knees. Now send your left hand high, easy dancer. If you want to go on, you can kick that hand forward, that foot back into full dancer. Bend that front knee as much as you need. And come on back and release. Give yourself a little shake. We're going to go to the other side. So put weight into that right foot. Left toes come up. We can open up here. Foot to the calf or the thigh. Find your balance. Find your drishti. Branches might go up. Already, hands come down. Now we're going to swap this foot. Try not to let it touch the ground. If it does, it's okay. So we're going to grab it. Send this right arm up. You might take a mudra. And if you'd like to go on to your full dancer, bend that front knee slightly. Kick that foot into the hand. And reach high into full dancer. And come on back. And release. Give yourself a little shake. Take a big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch, and hands back to heart center. Now feet a little bit wider than the hips, toes out, heels in, sink on down to a squat. Oh, so good. So if our toes are on the ground and our heels are on the ground, hands can come off the ground and come into heart center, pushing the knees out a little bit more of an inner thigh stretch. So just kind of savor this sensation. You might rock a little. When we're ready, just come on back. Oh, so nice. So roll on down onto your back. Those heels are close towards the hips still. We're going to just pick up our right foot and literally just tuck it under our left shin, grabbing the foot with the left hand, sending that knee down. A nice thigh stretch here. You can send your gaze up to see if the hip and knee are in alignment, and then just release. Breathe into that space. ready and release. Put it down, tuck the left foot under, grab the shin, and just bring it down onto the ground. If that knee and hip are in alignment, and release, and you'll feel this beautiful quad front body stretch here. When you're ready, release. Come on back, bring both knees into your chest. Feet face the ceiling, grab the outside edges and bring the knees in towards the armpits for happy baby. You might rock here, side to side. You might stretch one leg out and then the other. Just play here for a bit. Ready, release. And come into your savasana, your comfy space. Find beauty, find release and sanctuary in the stillness. Find joy in the rise and fall of your breath. Find wonder in the air on your skin. And reverence in the light touching your face. And you're ready. Hands up overhead. Wiggle the fingers and toes, roll the wrists and ankles, and come on over onto a side that suits you. Just savor in the sensations, what you can feel, what you can hear, what you can smell. Crack open the eyes and just see what you can see super close to you. Noticing the detail and sending your vision broader, noticing little details of everything in the room. And before we come on up into seated. All together, we'll take a beautiful big arm circle to finish off class today. Fingers touch. And back to heart center. Saying thanks to yourself for stepping out on the mat today, carving out the time for you to move, breathe, feel and give back to rescue dogs in need. Sending you lots of love and gratitude, beautiful yogis. Namaste.